What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, we're going to go through tips and tricks for the Pixel 5a. With that said, let's jump into the tips and tricks. First thing you want to do is press and hold on an empty spot on your home screen. Go into home settings. Once you're in home settings, notification dots, you can turn those on and off. Those are going to be when you have little dots next to these little apps right here. You can turn that on and off so that doesn't show up. At a glance, it's going to be at the top of your home screen. You can make it so it does not show certain things such as calendar, events, reminders, weather alerts, and work profile. If you turn it off, just tap it right here. Or if you want it on, make sure it's in the blue. And that's the stuff that shows up right there. Going back into home settings, you can see when you download a new app, it'll add the app icon to home screen. I like that. If you want to turn that off, turn it off right there. Swipe access for the Google app. So if you have this turned on, that's going to be this when you swipe all the way over to the left and you have this where it's like basically your Google feed. I like having that there, so I keep that on. And if you want to, again, just leave it on right there. Overview suggestions, you can show suggested actions in the overview. You can turn that on and off. Suggestions for all apps and home screen suggestions. You can come in here and again, turn that stuff on and off. And then allow home screen rotation. What that means, if I turn it on, go to my home screen and I turn it this way, so does my home screen. I'm not a big fan of that, at least for this phone anyway, so I'm going to turn that off. You can go home again. Let's press and hold on an empty spot. Go to widgets. If you want to add widgets, widgets are like basically an app running on your home screen at all times. So you're going to have a list of different apps on here. So for instance, if I want my, let's say YouTube music, press and hold on it. Drag it to where you want it, which home screen. I'll just put it right here for now. And now I can easily, for instance, play my YouTube music without having to go into the app. It sits right there. If you want to remove it, press and hold it, and then drag it to the top where it says remove, and that will get removed. Press and hold on a blank spot again. Let's go into styles and wallpapers. This will allow you to update your wallpapers if you want. You have your curated wallpapers. You have all those, different kind of wallpapers in here. You can tap in here, find the one you want when you like it. All you have to do is hit the checkbox at the bottom right, and you can also do it for your lock screen as well. You also have style at the bottom here. This will change the style and look of your phone. Kind of, in a way, it gives it a little bit of a theme. So if you want it to be looking a little bit different, maybe the font's a little bit different, the color is a little bit different, you are able to do such a thing. Hit the checkbox when you're done. So really cool to do that. And go back in here, go back into home screen. Actually, let's go back into styles and wallpapers. And you can change the grid as well. So if you want more apps or less apps, you want to make it bigger, you can see it'll make your icons a lot bigger if you want. Maybe you have trouble seeing your screen. So it just depends how you have everything set up, but you can set it up so that you can see things a little bit better and then hit the checkbox at the bottom. Let's go up to the top here, swipe down, and you have your quick toggles. You can move these around if you want, and the way you'll do that, and you can add more as well. So you can say I have 2 pages worth. If I hit the pencil right here, this is going to allow me to move them around. Maybe I want the battery saver to be to the right here, and I can do that. When I'm done, I can just go back, basically go home at that point. If I want to add more or remove some of these, like maybe I don't want my nearby share to be here, I'll just click and drag it down here, anywhere I want. And then maybe I do want my screencast to be up here. I can just click up and drag, and now it's on my screen. When I go back here and I go bring up my quick toggles, you see that the screencast is now there, and then the other one I had is now gone. So that's a way you can edit and move around and add, remove your quick toggles as well. Swiping up from the top, if you have gestures on, if you press and hold, that's going to bring up your recent apps. You can also go like this and swipe through your apps really easily just by the bottom here. Swiping up will go home. Swiping from the right will go home. Will go back actually. So it won't go home, but it'll go back from where you are. So like if I was right here, for instance, it'll just take a step back. So very easy, and that's with the gestures. Let's swipe down again here and go into settings. That's the little gear right here. And let's go into a bunch of things here. Let's first check out Wi-Fi. When you go into Wi-Fi, you can turn it on and off. You can also connect to different Wi-Fi networks. You can go into Wi-Fi preferences, and you can connect to public networks automatically if you want. Turn this off, which is notify for public networks. It's going to be a pain in the butt if it sees an open network. It's going to tell you, hey, there's an open network. I turn that off. You can also turn on Wi-Fi automatically. Up here, Wi-Fi will turn back on near high quality saved networks like your home network. It's always good to have. Let's take a step back. Next, let's go into the network and Wi-Fi, I should say. You can turn your Wi-Fi on and off. You can go to mobile network. If you tap on that, you can turn your SIM card off if you don't want to use a SIM card. Mobile data you can turn off. You can turn your roaming off. You can also come in here and choose your preferred network. Actually, data warning and limit. So if you only have a certain amount of data, you can come in here and set how much data you have. Maybe you only get 4 gigabytes. You can hit set on that. I have unlimited data, so I'm going to turn it off. So if you get those notifications where it's saying like, oh, use 2 gigabytes of data, and you're saying to yourself, hey, I have unlimited data. What does that matter? It doesn't matter to me. Just come in here. That's where you're going to be able to turn it off. You can also turn off set data limit as well. Taking a step back, preferred network type. If you don't get 5G where you are, if you want to save some battery life, switch it over to LTE. It's going to save you definitely give you some better battery life. Or maybe you just don't have 5G on your network plan that you have. Any of that would be a good reason to switch just to LTE. You can also go into airplane mode right here if you want to turn it on and off. If you're on a flight or something, you can also turn your hotspot tethering on and off and set that up in here. Data saver. Let's go back. Let's go to connected devices. This is going to be where you can pair a new device to Bluetooth, like some headphones or something like that. You can also go into connection preferences and check out anything in here, such as sending Bluetooth or receiving Bluetooth files and casting devices and NFC. Turn that on and off. So yeah, that's where all your stuff is for that. Going back in here, you're going to see apps and notifications. This is going to be where you can control some of your notifications. So if you tap on this, like for instance, maybe you have Amazon shopping. If you tap on that, you can come in here and open it, uninstall it, force stop it if it's giving you an issue. You can also go into notifications and turn off certain notifications for the app so that you don't get bombarded with notifications for that specific app all of the time. So this is a really easy place and quick place to come into and control notifications for specific apps. You'll also see under here, if you go into Assistant and you tap that, you can turn on and set up your voice match for Hey Google, your continued conversations. You can turn that on and off. You can see all your Assistant things. So if you're into Google Assistant, this is definitely going to be where you want to come in and set everything up. Some other cool stuff in here is default apps. If you want to switch your default apps for maybe you want, maybe you have another browser, maybe a Firefox or the Samsung Internet browser installed, you can come in here and change that so that when you open up links, it'll open up in that specific browser rather than always being in Chrome. You can also change your home launcher app. So maybe you use a different app launcher besides the Pixel launcher. You can change it in here, just tap on it and change it to the one you want. Phone app, same thing. Same thing as the SMS app. If you have a different text messaging app, you can come in here and change it real quick. Just click on the bubble for the one that you want. Caller ID and spam, tap on that. And if you want, you can have it so that the caller ID and spam is captured either by the phone or some other certain app if you want. I'm going to set it to the phone. Next, let's go into wireless emergency alerts. If you want to turn on and off alerts for, Amber alerts or severe alerts or extreme threats or things like that, you can come in here and turn these on and off at your leisure. I would recommend turning them on just so you have, in case there is an emergency, that you are alerted of that. Going back to the main screen of settings, let's go into battery. In battery, you can turn on battery saver. So if you are coming in here and you are, you need, you're going to be in the woods or something and you need the best battery life you can get, you can tap on this and set up. It says when to use, essential apps, all that stuff. You can just say always use or ask every time. But ultimately, you can get some crazy battery life if you turn this kind of stuff on. You can set a schedule if need be. You can turn off when it's being charged. You can turn it on now. So it allows you to get battery saver up and running on your phone to give you extreme battery life. But just know that it'll tone down the performance and not let you keep apps open and things like that. If you want to see your battery percentage like I have at the top, this is where you're going to be. You'll see it right there. There's the toggle just turn it on. And then at the bottom here, you can also see when you last full charged and how much screen usage time since the last full charge. Going into display, you can turn your dark theme on and off. I have it turned on, which basically means it's going to make my screen black. If I want to turn that off, just tap right there. You can also set a schedule for it if you'd like to. You can see there's a schedule. Just tap right here, turn it off at a custom time, or turn it on from sunrise to sunset. Adaptive brightness, I usually keep this on. I just have it off for the video, but make sure it's on. It'll, if you go in the sunlight or a dark room, it'll automatically make it lighter or brighter based off the lighting that it is basically seeing. Going into advanced, you're going to see styles and wallpapers, which we've been to. Screen timeouts, if you want your screen to turn off at a certain time. I usually do 2 minutes before. If I'm not like touching it, it'll automatically turn the screen off after 2 minutes. You also have screen attention, which means it will prevent your screen from turning off if you're looking at it. It's a really helpful feature. So maybe you're reading a book or maybe you're reading a website and it keeps turning your screen off because you're not touching the screen because you're reading an article. Keep that on. If it sees your eyes, it will keep the screen on. Colors, I usually keep mine to boosted. You can set it to natural or adaptive, but I like boosted. It's going to give you the most vibrant colors possible for the phone. Font size is where you can change your font size if you have trouble seeing the screen, especially these smaller screens. You can set it to bigger, smaller. I have it at the largest, which looks a little ridiculous on a screen like this, but still, I guess it's kind of cool. You can set your screensaver. Currently, it's set to a clock. You can come in here and change it to a digital clock or an analog clock. Increase your touch sensitivity. So if you have a screensaver, screen protector on, turn this on and your screen sensitivity will be turned up a bit so that if it was dulled down because of the screen protector, it will, just make everything feel a little bit smooth, better with that set like that. Sound and vibrations. This is going to be where you can control all your volumes from media volumes, call volumes, ring and notification volumes, your alarm volumes, all of that stuff. You can also turn on live captions if you want, so that if it uses watching a video or something, it will automatically start captioning it for you. That can get a little annoying, but it's also kind of interesting. Media player, you can set media player into your quick settings. Advanced, this has come some kind of cool stuff. So under advanced, you can have it so that when it sees a song basically on your lock screen, it'll tell you what screen is playing. So I like to keep that on. It's identifying songs that are playing nearby. You can set the notifications to on or off. You can also look at your now playing history and it'll show you the song. So for instance, if I was like, oh, I'm a gummy bear, and then down here, it'll show me any apps I can add the playlist to or play the song on. So that's kind of cool. And then you also have other sounds and vibrations. So if you don't want your screen to make a locking sound or dial pad sound tones or charging sounds and touch sounds, you can turn all of that stuff on and off right there. Going back to the main screen, you got storage. Under storage, you can see you got smart storage and you can manage your storage. If you click on manage storage, you can come in here and you can automatically delete things up. You can see like junk files, it'll delete temporary app files and that are taking up space. If you hit clean up and then hit clear, it'll clear up some of that space. So for me, I don't have a lot in there, but it's going to clear up 38 megs of storage. You can also see you can delete large files, delete downloaded files, backed up photos. You can remove those really easily to save some space on here. You can also go to Google Play and Protect to make sure that is on to protect your phone. Under smart storage, you can have it automatically delete stuff. So if I turn this on, it's going to say when you're connected, you can still access photos and videos at the quality you selected for the backup. So it's going to remove backed up photos and videos automatically over 60 days old, and I don't have to think about it. So it's kind of an easy way to have the phone control your storage so you never really run out of storage for the most part. If you go to security, this is going to be where you can change your screen lock. I have it set to pattern, but you can come in here and change it to none, swipe, pattern, pin, or password. You can also set up and add another fingerprint sensor. So you can come in here and hit add fingerprint and add another fingerprint if you want. You also have smart lock. This will allow you to basically have your phone unlocked if it notices it's on your body or a trusted place such as your home, your office, or somewhere else. Trusted devices is it'll keep unlocked if it's connected to certain Bluetooth devices such as your car Bluetooth or your watch or some earphones. So it's very helpful to keep your phone unlocked so you don't have to keep unlocking it while it's in certain locations or connected to certain devices. If you're a parent and this is a phone for your child, you can come into Digital well-being and parental controls. This is on the main screen of settings. You tap on that and you can set up parental controls to have this, completely controlled for your child. So it's very helpful to, set limits and parameters for them. So in here, there's a couple of things in. You can remove animations if they bother you, so it make your phone feel a little bit faster too. So it's kind of a cool thing to come in here and turn on that on and off to make your phone feel a little bit faster. You also have power button ends call. So if you want to turn that on when you're on a call, if you press your power button, it'll automatically end the call for you. Going into system, if you come in here and you go into gestures, this is going to allow you to do certain things. So if you turn on the swipe fingerprint for notifications, when I swipe on my fingerprint, I can show my quick toggles just by swiping down or swiping up. I can quickly open my camera by double pressing the power button. I can go in here and flip the camera for a selfie. So if I'm in my camera and say I'm on the back camera, I can go like this and it switches over to a selfie. You also have your system navigation. I have gestures turned on, but if you want to bring up the old traditional 3-button layout with the back button, home button, and recent apps button, just tap right there. You have your tap to check phone. So if you tap the screen, it'll bring up the display. If you lift the phone, if you have this on, it'll turn on the display. You can also prevent ringing. If you turn that on or off, you can press power and volume up together to prevent the ringing, and it'll go into vibrate mode or mute mode. You have your flip to shush. Basically, the way that works is if you have that turned on, you can see that when you turn the phone on to its face, it'll go on to do not disturb. Power menu, so when you press your power button, you can have this do some certain things. You can have it bring up your cards and passes. You can also bring up device controls, turn that on and off. You can also show content. So when I'm pressing, I hold my power button, you can see it brings up not only my emergency, my power off, and my restart, but it also brings up a credit card for me that I can use on Google Pay. And it also brings up my home features if I want to be able to control some of the home lights and things like that. If I press this, I can go into add controls or edit controls, and it gives me more access to some of my home controls that are showing up in Google Home. Going back to the main screen of settings, go into About Phone, and you can come in here and change your device name if you want. So maybe you have it connected to something on Bluetooth. You can come in here and give it a different name. Maybe you want to call it like Greg's Pixel or 5A Pixel or whatever you want. You can come in here and change the name and then hit OK. One thing I wanted to show you under System, if you go all the way to down and hit Advanced, you can reset your phone settings under Network Apps, or the device can also be reset if you're like getting rid of it. This is going to be where you want to go and hit erase data. You also have System Update. You can come in here and check for any updates that you might have for the system software. Let's go into the camera next. Once you're in the camera, I'm on camera right here. If you'll see a little arrow, if you press that, you can turn and set up your night light or have more light. You can also turn on and off motion photos. So when you take a photos, it won't do that like movement thing. You can set a timer. You can also hit this gear to bring up more settings. You can turn on and off camera sounds, which I would recommend. Your save location data, you can turn that on and off. Google Lens suggestions, turn that on and off. Social shares, you can change that and turn stuff on and off. You have your gestures, your volume key action. You can make that do something else if you want it to be the shutter button or the zoom, the volume, or just completely turn that off. You have your frequent faces. You can turn that on and off as well. Device storage. You can come in here and see how much space you have left, and it'll tell you how many photos or videos of minutes that'll do. You can turn on storage saver. You can turn off when storage is available and free up space. Go into advanced, and you can set it so that your photos are saved in RAW, Plus, or JPEG control. Store videos efficiently. Show when you have a dirty lens. You can do a grid. So if you're better off, when you take a photo, you can see a little grid, 3x3 or 4x4 or golden ratio. Save selfie as previewed. You can turn on and off video stabilization. And then when we go to video, you're going to see here for a second, you can come in here and tap the downward. You can turn your flash on and off. You can also change the resolution at which your videos are saved. You can see I can do 1080p or 4K, and depending upon if it's 1080, you can go right here at frames, it'll automatically select what it thinks is best, or 30 or 60. 4K, you can do it at 30 or 60. And then hitting the gear, and you're gonna have a lot of the same stuff you just did a second ago. And then here's a couple of quick ones. If you wanna run multiple apps, swipe up and hold, and then press and hold on the icon right here. And you can hit split screen. And then you can look through certain apps that you can run in multi-window. Maybe you want your settings, for instance, and you can see you got 2 apps running at the same time very easily. You can also drag this up or down, and the other app will go away. And then lastly, your volume buttons. If you press it up or hold it, you can turn your ringers and sounds and all that kind of stuff on and off, and switch between the different modes and control some of your volumes as well. And that's all the tips and tricks I have for you for the Pixel 5a. Really great phone, runs really, really well. The only issues I've had is some overheating when I've recorded some video outside in warm weather. But other than that, it works really, really good. It's a great phone, takes great videos, great photos, runs really well as well. So check it out if you want to pick it up. It's linked down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road.